Hi there! If you're new to my sessions, here are the key takeaways that you can expect. I'll cover the Wyckoff stages for Ondo, both in the weekly and daily time frames, the key price levels for Ondo's resistance and support, and also any breakout timing the charts are telling us. So, let's start with the weekly chart of Ondo. It's been quite a while we last covered Ondo, and previously we draw a triangle over here, and the breakout did happen on the week of October 6th. And if you're into candlestick pattern analysis, you may say, oh, it's a descending triangle, it's expected that the price goes down. That may be the case, especially in this scenario. It seems like it is, but always remember that the textbook definitions, there are always exceptions you can find. So even though this case may look like it happened following the textbook definition, actually it's not as simple as that. Okay, there were two breakouts over there actually. Let me fix it. The other one was here. Okay, yeah, this was the first one, September 8th, and then this was the second one. Look, so now let's get to the Wyckoff tax. So we had a second test, and then there was another test in this month, or two tests actually. Let's make it simple and just treat it as one. This obviously went lower than the red key level of 59 cents, but still higher than the selling climax back in August 2024. Okay, that was right over there at around 53 cents. The October 10th dip was at almost 58 cents, so still 5 cents higher than the selling climax a year ago. And as of this moment, it looks to me the price is still within the downward trend. When we get to the daily chart, I'll draw a box and we can look into that in detail. So for next stop, well, there was a sign of strength happened in beginning of September as well. So the next stop is for Ondo to show us a positive sign, meaning the price come back to the green key level of around $1.05, trade around that area. Whether it's horizontal narrow range or not, at least it's a sign, another sign of strength that is giving a chance towards the next accumulation cycle. Not that it cannot happen similar to what it did back in July, where it came down from the sign of strength. Likewise for early September. Alright, it can happen sideways for quite a while, but from the red key level to the green key level, that's a 75% difference. So if you're into Fibonacci retracement, all these interesting percentages, that's a pretty good range for people to trade. Imagine if you entered during the selling climax or the second test, and then eventually waited for that 5 to 6 weeks time. That's a 75% gain in like a month. Okay, so before we get to the daily, let's quickly check the Bollinger Band and Kontner squeeze, which Ondo is still within the squeeze that started in June, meaning a bigger price swing is still pending. So last time it happened was around November 2024. That's where the squeeze over there, you see the shade, and then we've got this massive swing, first to the upside and then eventually coming down. This time the squeeze force is still being built up, so we're yet to see the actual swing happening. So that's the current situation. So while we're waiting for a positive signal to come back to a sign of strength and eventually the new distribution cycle, the force is being gathered right now, so it's just a matter of time. Let's get to the daily and see whether there are any breakout time points besides the squeeze. The purple lines for Ondo is getting really close to the orange, meaning any day in the next 2 to 3 days, if the price continue to trade narrow range, those two purple lines will come in, and then the squeeze will form. So last time, the bigger one, excluding this one of the October 10th, that's when we had the mini distribution cycle in the daily chart during mid-September. Okay, and let's go back to the Wyckoff in the daily. It was in a, it's a late stage distribution within the bigger distribution over there. So you can consider that second test at a very late stage, and then a couple of LPSYs afterwards. Obviously there was sign of weakness, and the interesting thing right now is this the selling climax during the October 10th drop, or like the October 11th subsequently, that closed lower than October 10th. So I look at the close of the candle, not the wick itself. That could be the automatic rally, and what we are going through are likely second test and subsequent tests, meaning the price can still go lower. Look at the spring just in June this year. So it went very close to the 59 cents area. So if a spring is really going to come for Ondo, it may get to that point as well, just like what it did on October 10th, very close to that particular price range. Alright, so that's the Wyckoff. In terms of time point, if there is any breakout time point, what's going through, what the price actions are going through right now, it looks to me, I have to try this because it looks to me there are two possible scenarios. One, it is within this downtrend over here. Okay, so see these wicks at the top and then these at the bottom. So if it continues this sideways movement, which can be a mini channel over here, it may bounce back to this level at around 70 cents and then re-challenge the orange key level of around 76 cents. So about 6 cents difference, which is like around 8%. Not too bad if like in just a 3-4 days, you get to a point where you get 8% of return. Of course, not counting your fees and stuff. If you have that, that's going to be a little slightly lower. But when the price continues to trade, if it really closes above the orange key level, which currently the bulls and the bears are fighting at that level, if the next few days really successfully closes but get rejected by this ceiling, this breakout time point around the 9th of November, just about a week and a half from now, any time from then, like from now to then, there are two directions. One, to confirm this downward channel is no longer in effect. So the price may start a new trend. Either it trades upward for a while and then restart a new downtrend, or it really is starting a new uptrend, coming to challenge at least the green key level, if not the light blue key level. I'm just trying to check in the weekly where that sign of strength is. So it's the green. So that's where the potential breakout would lead to if it really happens in the next week or so. Okay, that's the upside. The downside means nothing too crazy. It's just that it's going to continue the downtrend and potentially getting down to where the spring is. So the red key level of 59 cents. And when that happens, you will see the channel eventually will cut the red line as well. Let me remove this line. Okay, it's going to come down to cut this at around the beginning of December. So if the breakout doesn't happen and continue to trade within this downward channel for a while, eventually a month after the first breakout opportunity, a second one appears. Not that it can't happen before that time point. I always mention breakout a lot of time doesn't wait till that exact cross to happen. It can happen sooner. What I'm saying is by that time latest, we will have that confirmation. Okay, so that's for Ondo. I know it's for these rosters, I'm not covering them like every week, so a couple of things would have happened, but let's hope for seeing the sign of strength for Ondo for the near future, at least like in 2 weeks time. Hopefully it shows some trend to head towards that particular level. If not, then it's going to retest where it did the same thing back in June this year. So not crazily surprising, given we know that the price is trading within a downtrend. Okay, so thanks for joining.